We have another mother-in-law story and a boundaries story. This woman asked the question, am I the a-hole for telling my husband his mom can't just move in with us without even asking me or talking about it first? No, you're absolutely not the a-hole based on this. Of course, you're a couple. He needs to talk to you. What is going on with these men and their mothers? Like, what is this? All right, so she says, so my husband came home last week and just casually said, my mom's gonna move in with us for a bit. No heads up, no conversation, nothing. Just a random announcement like he was telling me he picked up milk. I was stunned and asked, wait, what? He looked at me and goes, she needs a place to stay for a few months. It's not a big deal. I told him, I'm not okay with making a decision like that without even talking to me. We both work from home. We have no extra bedroom. And honestly, I just don't get along with her. She's the type who criticizes how I cook, how I clean, even how I dress. She's exhausting. I can't imagine her living here full time. He says, I'm being selfish and not thinking about family. What about our household, our routines, our sanity? He didn't ask and didn't inform me, and now he's acting like I'm heartless for having boundaries. I told him flat out that she can't move in unless we actually sit down and agree on it together. He hasn't spoken to me since. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Ironic, right? So am I the a-hole for putting my foot down and saying she can't just move in without my input? I already said, based on the title alone, that this woman is not the a-hole. You have a house together. You pay bills together. You work in there. If the fact that she has two bedrooms means one is probably an office or something, the other is the bedroom to sleep in. This is out of pocket to think that this is acceptable. And like she says, our routine, our household, our sanity. This woman does not, and she criticizes her. She's overbearing. These mother-in-laws that are overbearing, one of the things that I think these people have, these issues that these mothers have, they didn't have an identity outside of their children. So that is the reason why they act like this once their children are grown, because they have nothing else to do. They have no hobbies or anything. They have no life. They have no friends. And so this is one of the main reasons why I say, yes, it is important to be a mother. Yes, I do understand that people are wives and that is important, but don't make it your whole personality. Because what will you do if your relationship falls apart? Or once your children leave the nest? Then this is the reason why some people start to crumble, because they have no identity outside of being a wife and mother. Some people literally make their whole personality being a wife and mother. And you need to be more than that, because this is what could happen. These monster-in-law stories are what could happen. Let's get into some of the comments, because the OP is in the comments. Wise Investment says, not the a-hole. This isn't about being against his mom. It's about basic respect. You don't just make life-changing decisions like that without talking to your partner first. You both live there. You both work from home. If there's no real space or peace of mind, then yeah, it's a big deal. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're necessary. The OP says, it's not that I have anything against his mom. I just want to be included in major decisions that affect both of our lives. We're already stretched thin space-wise and mentally, and adding another person without even a heads up felt like a total disregard to me. Absolutely not. Boundaries, what is this? It says, boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary. That is absolutely a true statement. Kitty Bookcase says, but you actually do have something against his mom. You stated that she criticizes everything you do, from cooking to cleaning to what you wear. She is exhausting. Don't sugarcoat it. Shine your spine and lay it out there for the both of them. Call her out for the BS that it won't happen in your house. If hubby continues to be an idiot, they can go live somewhere else. Space is a factor, especially when you work from home. Cute Tangelo says, right. She said that she doesn't get along with her. That, coupled with having no extra space, is a big no for her staying with them. Optimal Customer says, but she also says she has no extra space but has a guest room. It's probably just a 2-bedroom apartment. It does not sound like they are flush with a bunch of extra space. Having an extra bedroom means that that is probably where one of them works while the other works in the front room or something like that. That doesn't mean, having an extra room does not mean that she wants her mother-in-law in there. And that's what No Demand says. I'm assuming her guest room also functions as a home office. Neo said, I would also have something against a house guest who complained about me or living in our home. We had a house guest earlier this year who kind of announced that he would accept our invitation to stay with us for a while. He called us to say that he would be flying in the next day, leaving us with very little time to explain or discuss him coming. He has a few siblings and none of them offered him a place to stay. Another red flag. The first week he stayed with us, we got not a single word of gratitude for us letting him stay rent-free. Instead, we were told how the room we put him in with the 4 walls was slowly killing him. It was like that for the first 2 weeks, and we finally told him that his 3rd week would be his last. He only started to look for a place to stay about 3 days before the deadline and had to fly to Salt Lake City, but had a little money left. We were more than happy to buy him a ticket there just to get him out of our home. The audacity to say, I'm staying in your home, and then no gratitude, no thank you. Where do these people get this entitlement from? I will never understand. Momo says, how did you allow someone to just tell you he was moving in for a while? That would have been an automatic no. And Neo said he had dual citizenship for the United States and Canada. He had expressed an interest in moving back to the United States to try to find work and build a career. We had met him through another friend who came through town on a visit the year before. He seemed like a sincere guy, and he did spend 1 to 2 nights with us before. I knew he was hardcore QAnon, but he did not push those views as much back then. He said he liked our town, and so we extended an invitation to stay with us for a while if he decided to come back to the United States. Oh, wow. This is... He's like, cool. I'm just going to come and get comfy right here. I need you to make my space a little bit, make it more homey, please. The nerve. Pixie Ann has some questions. Not the a-hole. How long have you and your husband been together? Has he done this sort of thing before, just making decisions that affect both of you without consulting with you? Why would he think that's okay? Why does his mother need a place to stay? What has happened to the place she was living in? Why does she only need a place to live for a few months? What will happen after those few months? Is there somewhere else she can go? Why can't she rent something short term? Are there any other family members nearby? Does she work? Will she contribute financially to the household? Does she have pets? Here's the OP saying, we've been together for 6 years, married for 3. He's never pulled something this big before without talking to me first, so I was honestly shocked. His mom lost her apartment after some issues with her landlord, and apparently the few months is while she figures out her next steps. But there's no real plan. She doesn't work, doesn't have income, and no pets, thankfully, but still, no mention of contributing financially either. He just assumed I'd be okay with it, and that's the part that really bugged me. Maleficent Pizza, I like that, says some issues with her landlord is a red flag. Amazingly, she doesn't work. So Pippet says, no plan, no job, no income. She will never leave. Plenty Hopeful says, I think your husband is an a-hole for not talking to you about it, but how are you going to say you don't have an extra bedroom as an excuse, but you, in fact, do have a guest room, an extra bedroom? Either way, not an a-hole for not wanting her to move in and having a discussion and agreement. However, maybe not add the we don't have an extra bedroom as part of the argument. She says, yeah, you're totally right. I probably shouldn't have thrown in the no extra bedroom. It was more me being flustered and trying to shut down the convo fast. We do have a guest room, but honestly, I don't want to lose that space or suddenly turn it into her permanent room without being asked. It's the not being asked part that really got me. There you go. That's the point. That is the point. That is your room. That is your guest room, not hers, not her husband's. This their guest room together, and they need to make decisions together. I do believe that men have gotten so way too comfortable thinking that they get to make decisions without consultation. This is a partnership. Marriage is a partnership. You both have to have conversations and agree or disagree, blah, blah, blah. Yes, no, blah, blah, blah. You got to talk about it, communicate. You can't make unilateral decisions like this. Let me know what you think. Another monster-in-law story, another boundary story, another lack of communication story. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and share.